Is on?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Hersal Gholian. Being here in yeshiva for 34 years, and I have a kitab Kabbalah from Rabbi Heinemann. I experienced with Rabbi Heinemann, Rabbi Berger, and being also been going to New York for more. Learn some method of Mezuzos, Tefilin and stuff like that, because there are a company there that they're doing Safrus over there also. Basically, I'm gonna cover today. I'm gonna cover everything about Safrus, and since you guys also gonna get married or you are married, dealing with the Mezuzos, I try to be cover up some stuff with the Mezuzos. This way, you understand everything about what you have to know. First thing about Safrus is Sofer had to have. Sofer is not like a person that's expert of writing. It's more than that. You have to know halachot, as you know. You're learning, studying for years and years and years, and a lot of different sefarim. It's not only Shulchan Aruch and that's it. It's a many sefarim. For example, this sefer I just brought for as example. It is only on bias, how the bias works. Nothing, any writing or anything. It's much more sefarim about writing. This sefer has with all pictures and figuration, how you figure out the bias, how you fix it, how it works, and everything. This is one of the things you want to know Safrus, and of course, you have to always have a posek. Not only because you could be rely on yourself, you show it to somebody like you who's more knowledgeable. I could give a psak of mezuzah, tefillin, every this question, touching, stuff like that. Anyhow, a lot of halachos involved with Safrus. Few very important one is Sheluk Sidron. One of the things you have to know about Safrus is every writing had to be writing in order. It means if you miss something, you cannot go back and fix it. This is the one thing about Mezuzah and Tefillin. Sefer Torah doesn't have Sheluk Sidron. Another halach is Chok Tuchos. It means you have to find the letters through writing, not through erasing. For example, if you have two letters touching to each other, this Dalet and Vav, if you have Dalet and Vav touching now it becomes Ches, right? Through erasing it, you make it Dalet and Vav. This is called Chok Tuchos. Or if you have a Vav and you're supposed to write Yud, by mistake you write Vav, now you want to make it shorter, like that, you make it to Vav, it's called Chok Tuchos, and it's not kosher. Therefore, things on Tefilin and Mezuzah become very expensive, because what's happening, if some mistake happening in the Mezuzah and you want to go back fix it, you could do that. For example, I have a lot of cases here of the Mezuzahs. For example, Sofer finished this was a brand new Mezuzah. Sofer wrote it and he has a ink over here. You cannot go or erase it and back there because you have Shem Hashem to fix it. Therefore, this is the reason the Mezuzahs come expensive. Okay, this is very bekisur of halacha of Mezuzahs. Now, one of the more things also, if you have a kosher Mezuzah, you have to make sure the wrapping is wrapped right. You could have a kosher Mezuzah, wrap it wrong, put it this way or that way. The way to do it is right from right. You're going to wrap it from left to right, from Echad to Shema, and make sure when you put it in the case, make sure you put it right way. Shema goes inside and go to the wall, to the doorpost. And one more thing is important to know is if you do not have waterproof cases for outside, you're going to be in trouble. You have to make sure. I have example of waterproof case. I don't have it here, but make sure that if you're dealing with the outside, make sure you have waterproof case. Without waterproof case, you could ruin your mezuzah, even if you have very expensive mezuzah. This much as mezuzah goes. I think enough important. Does anybody have any question about the mezuzah? Would you open to it?
Humid makes it the mezuzah wouldn't be kosher anymore?
Yeah, the humid caused the water and temperature mixed up the melting up the ink and cause a lot of problems and give you a lot of problems. If I have an example of it here, this is what's going to happen if you have not waterproof case. They could ruin the mezuzah. Now we're going to go back to if you have any questions, you could ask. But meanwhile, we're going to start from scratch how these things work, the Safrus work. First of all, they get skin from kosher animal. Doesn't have to be shechted. It could be killed with a gun if you need the skin and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to shecht or whatever. Therefore, they could buy it from non-kosher places that they have a kosher animal like cow, goat or anything. If they get the skin, they go to the factory and they hiding. They working with the skin, and they from there to make it here. Now, before they used to have a clef. Clef means they take the hair off and they just thick the skin. They make them thin, and after that they ride it. Nowadays they don't do it that way. Also they would cut it. Nowadays they get a clef. Clef is basically when they get skin. They just use a lot of chemicals to make the hair goes, and after that they shave it the bottom, the meat part. They sand it so much down to comes out something like that. They call it clef. Very strong quality they write. After that, they have a sirtut. Sirtut is every mezuzah, tefillin, Sefer Torah, everything have a line to it. In the engraved that there's just a machine. They make them line because you're supposed to write the mezuzah on line. You don't see it, you don't notice it on this. I'm going to pass it later on. You see the lines. Now, the second thing is the kulmus. They used to do bamboo for writing mezuzah, and especially Sephardim. They used the bamboo. Bamboo. You had to know how to cut it. I grew up with it. Actually, when I was a small kid, I was going to school. They had to have writing with the ink and bamboo, and you have to know how to cut it. And still some people they use it. Once in a while I could use it, but nowadays they're using kulmus, and they call it kulmus. That is a feather of turkey. They have a big turkey. They're using this feather for writing. The ink is kosher ink. That shouldn't have any source of any glycerin or anything that from a fat animal or anything like that. It could be anything chemical, but cannot use any part of the animal if it's not kosher. If it's kosher, of course you could use. Is that as far as ink goes. Now, Shema on mezuzah they have a two parchment. Shema, Vayom Shema. Oh, the parchment they write it right here. They write in here. They don't write in the top. If somebody by mistake write it on outside of it, it's not kosher. It has to be from inside. Okay? One of the signs is figure out if somebody has a clef, he doesn't know it's inside or outside, you're going to wet it a little bit. And if you're folding like that, it means the outside is this way. Now, we're going to go to Tefilin now. I'm done with the mezuzah. Any question about mezuzah?
What's the best kind of case for an outdoors mezuzah? Heat.
Basically, the best case for outside. The best case for outside is a wood. But the problem is, wood has its own issue because the water could get into it and it can destroy it. And normally, I do have these cases. They call it waterproof case. I don't think they have it here or not, but the case has a hole from the bottom and has a plug in the bottom. And it closed up, and this way the water nowhere could go to the inside. It could go from outside. They are coming mostly plastic cases, since it's the waterproof. Metal cases make the mezuzahs very, 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 very hot. Some, if you go touch the metal case mezuzah cases, they will make it very, very hot. The wood is much better, but the normally plastic is the best option.
And what about glass?
Glass is very good also, but the glass cannot make it waterproof unless you have a tube. So there's a possibility there's a tube with I saw a tube like a blood tube. You know what I'm talking about? They take a blood. Sometimes you can have a long one. You could use the top part and you could make your own case. You could do that. Now, as far as I'm going to Tefilin. Any question about mezuzah?
Well, with a lot of mezuzahs, you see the parchas wrapped in plastic.
If they are not wrapped in plastic, could cause a lot of problems. For example, one of this mezuzah, I could pass it to you. You see it. Believe it or not, there is a hole over here. The bug ate it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. the bug ate it. If you have not good casing outside, I mean, anything could happen. Make sure that they're plastic wrap.
What's the reason of shakai behind the
The shakai is just the shin that it used Shomer Dato Israel, just a sign that just more reminding for you. It's not inside halacha. It's just a custom to put the shakai because Shomer Dato Israel, the God, watch over the doors of Ben Israel.
Do you have any Kabbalah reason?
There is a Kabbalah reason of here. They have a kuzu memuchsach kuzu. This is the corresponding this name of Hashem corresponding to Yud Kevavke. They just write it opposite way. The place is Yud Kev Hashem Elokeinu Hashem. Here the kuzu memuchsach kuzu is it's kind of Kabbalah, that name of Hashem with a different language, but.
So he said you're supposed to put it facing you.
Yeah, facing you. When you put it mezuzah facing you, yeah.
So it should be what? So what should be facing you? The
Shaka, yeah.
And also Shema Yisrael should be facing. Meaning you roll it up from Echad to Shema.
Yeah, and after that, put the Shaka is here. You put it right there. Okay,
Shema
cover.
part should be facing.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to Tefilin. Tefilin, of course, we have a Tefilin Shel Yad and Shel Rosh. First, I'm going to explain about parchment inside, and after that, talk about outside. The inside of it is a 4 parsha, and on Shel Yad is a 1 piece. Kadeshli is in order of Torah. Kadeshli ve'kevacha Shema v'am Shema. On Rabbeinu Tam, you have these 2 opposite way that Shema and v'am Shema is first v'am Shema and second is Shema in the end. Aviatan Kabar. Do you remember this? You went to this sugya? Okay. Now this is Shel Yad. Shel Rosh, there are 4 pieces to go to 4 compartment, because Shel Yad has only 1 compartment, right? And all rolled up. They're all rolling it up, and they're using se'arot. Se'arot is a skin, cow's tail. You wash it very well. Very well. Very, very well. And you let it dry. They wrap around the parchment. You get the se'arot, you're wrapping around the parchment, and using you went to this sugya. I know you went to this sugya. You're wrapping it around with the matlis. Matlis is the piece of parchment. You wrapping around it. You do 1 time on the parsha, and after that is a matlis, and after that again se'aros, and tie it up and you put them inside. Now, you in every process of tefillin, from the very, very, very beginning part, you start to working with the skin. You have to remember to say L'Shem Kiddushat Tefillin or Mezuzah. If you're not saying it, you're in big, huge trouble. Big, huge trouble. It's not kosher, basically. It's a b'diavad if you had in mind, but this is what you want to do. After you're putting everything inside, you're going to sew it with the gid. Gid is a ligament of the kosher animal. And this is how it looks like. I brought more to show you. Yeah. By the way, they are very expensive. They are handmade. It's a ligament. And this one costs like $70. It's expensive. The ligament is this. I got it. This is the real part of an animal. Believe it or not, all part of this animal. But this is ligament. This is they get this part and they open it up. This is like a vein or something. It's a ligament. This connect. It's like a nerve. Is this a gid? Call it gid.
It's a
ligament.
It's what holds the muscle onto the bone.
Yeah, and now they twist it together and they make them to the very long. They're twisted together. This is the ligament. This is I was talking to before. Klaf, as givil. The Sephardim, they used to write Sefer Torah on it, and a lot of people they used to have it. They come to this color, and that's it. This is as far as writing inside and sew it together, and they sew it 3 times, sewing it 12 sewing, 3 top from here, 3 top from here, 3 top here, and from both sides. This is as far as tefillin goes inside. Now I'm going to the boxes. Does anybody have any question? Okay, we're gonna go to tefillin. That is a little bit complicated. Not complicated so bad, but okay. I know everybody tell you have only 2 type of tefillin. I'm gonna tell you, believe it or not, 5 type of different tefillin. It's strange, right? I know. The cheapest one, the basic idea of it, you want to have the tefillin 1 hole for shel yad and 4 holes for shel rosh. They are just separated, okay? Now, the cheapest possibility that they make it is they call it pishutim. Pishutim is a pair of tefillin that being pieces glued together, made of a lot of pieces. This one piece, this another piece, this pieces again, this another piece. Inside the walls also have another own piece. Basically, it's a lot of pieces glued together. But they are pieces glued together. They are now one piece. You got it? They call it pishutim. Pishutim is this one. Now, the second pair is pishutim mehudarim. Pishutim mehudarim, this is the brand new type of pishutim mehudarim that recently they made this, very, very recent. And somebody coming here to some of the synagogue would make it. They have all one piece, but they are not glued together. They are pieces folding. This is by the way, do you know what it is? This is parchment. This is cloth. It's not like a paper. They painted themselves. You see, they pieces, all of them is one piece, but they folded. Do you remember that those in the box of cereal, you had these things that you was folding? Do you remember? Do you know? I don't know if still doing it or not. Do you know they're making aircraft and they're making sheep or something like that in the back of this, in the back of the cereal boxes. It's the same idea. Just folding it and thing it, and you make it eventually to tefillin. Okay? This called pishutim mehudarim. Next tefillin is called dakot. Dakot is a skeleton of, they're getting a skeleton of tefillin, just making 4 departments, everything, pieces glued together, everything glued together. But they keep it open. Out of that, they get this very, very thin layer of skin, very thin. They go and like laminated all around the skeleton. They call it dakot. But it's very, very thin. This is dakot. This piece is a pieces glued together, and this piece, small piece of a cloth, go around it. Let me see if I have another piece to show you. Yeah, here you are. You see, this piece and this piece being around the tefillin, they call it dakot. But at least is one piece. Everything is one piece, because the main caches of this tefillin is not inside the box and the skeleton. The main part of this tefillin is the skin that is outside. They call it dakot. Okay? Now we're going to go to next one. Any question from till now?
So, with dakos, there are different pieces glued inside, and then it's covered in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Cover up with one small tin, and the kashrus is the thin piece outside.
So
as soon as I one hole in one part of this tefillin of gasot, dakot, he makes it to pishutim again, because I have one hole, the kashrus is gone. It's going to be somach on the pieces glued together.
So you have or echad, but it's only a thin or echad.
Thin or echad, exactly.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to the next piece.
All these tefillin, shutim and dakot, they're kasher or not?
They are all kosher, but different level. Depend, do you want a higher level? Yeah, they are all kosher according to someone. Depend how as far as sophisticated get more people that poskim that they say this is better, this is better. Now we have a gasot. Gasot is one piece. In the end, I'm gonna give out everything that you could feel it and test it and whatever. Gasot is a one piece of big cloth they get, and they fold it to make it one pair. They call it gasot. Thick. This is the skin of a cow. one skin. Believe it or not, this is skin, thickest skin. See how thick it is, and they folded this piece. It was this big a piece. You see, they folded, and they're making one gasot. This is the first stage. This is the second stage, and this is the stage before painting it, and this is the complete finished. Of course, you know this called kisisa, this is called titora, and this called ma'abart. Okay, so one piece. This is what we are done with that. Now is one thing you should know. Gasot, as you see it and everybody has it, one of the things you don't realize is this gesher. Do anybody remember this sugya gesher? What is a gesher? When basically, if you get this one, I don't have it here, but because if you're getting this piece and fold it back, you're not going to have a ma'abarta. You're not going to have ma'abarta. Why? Because when you're folding it, basically imagine when you're folding this piece here, there's no room for passing your straps there. They know what they do. They do one extra piece they're adding into it. This is the top part is the gasot. Now they're picking another piece of cloth. They stick it in here. You see this one, they being glued here. Basically, this piece with the black mark being added to it. These two pieces. This piece being added. Basically, the gasot is the top part and the bottom part. The middle part is a gesher, the extra piece they paste into it in order that they give you a space here that you put your straps there. You follow? Follow? Now, this is called gasot. There is a higher level of bias, they call it orechad. They call it orechad. Orechad is a all new level. All new level, what they do basically, normally they cut this piece all around it and they put the one extra piece in here, the gesher. In orechad like a menorah. Do you remember menorah? It was one not piece attaching to it. The menorah was one piece. The Moshe Rabbeinu was banging with his hammer and making everything one piece. The orechad also they do it like that. They call it basically, instead of cutting these pieces, they folding it back. These pieces are still soft. They're folding it back, and instead of adding one piece, the gesher into it, they're using the same skin, fold it back, and they charge you good. Double or triple. Seriously. If you, my cheapest orechad I could sell you, for example, if I sell you gasot, I could sell you $400, decent pair, but the orechad with this piece and with the more hummus involved, they sell you $800, double. Because much harder, they fold it back, they make sure everything is square. This is basically what it is now. Now, this as far as bite goes.
Which one is more normal? Which one people use?
Mostly people are using this gasot, but they come different companies and different, I don't know, depend how nice.
If someone comes to you and tells you I need a pair of Tefilin, would you go through the whole sugya to tell him what you want, or?
No, I don't give you that time. I want to make sure the guy understands what he wants. First of all, I have to figure out what he wants. Most of people, they don't know.
People come and say, I want the good Tefilin, best Tefilin.
I show him gasot, and I just don't tell him about those details. I tell him there's a cheap one and there's a fast. I don't go details because the only reason I'm explaining to you because you know all the details. These people, they just come, I just know gasot, dakot, and the parachute. That's it. Doesn't take more than 10 minutes. Normally. But I show them the parachute, they choose the parachute, they choose the gasot or dakot. And there are different companies in gasot. The cheap ones, they basically, the paint is cheap, they paint off, but the good ones, you know, stay more durable, they stay longer, the paint is better. And of course, shin of tefillin, here, there, 3 to the right, 4 to the left. Okay? Now, chut HaMeshicha. Chut HaMeshicha is, actually I made it today to make sure to show it to you. Chut HaMeshicha is chut o Meshicha. My son showed it to me, some people say chut HaMeshicha. I would call it always chut HaMeshicha, but my son showed me it's a chut o Meshicha, and this is the correct way. Chut o Meshicha, basically, there's a gid, they passing through this four bottom to show that this all the way is down. Then because you pass through chut, it means shows there's no way you could pass through chut here when it's like that, unless they have these walls all the way come to the down. If you realize this has 2 walls and they push it all the way down. If they didn't was pushing it all the way down, it was considered one bias, because this and this, the difference between this and this Yad and Sherosh is they divide this. They didn't just cut it. You have to realize they're folding it. Each of them has 2 walls, and in order to do that, they push a metal piece in here and also in here between these 2 bottom. Basically, they go the same time, pushing from the top and the bottom to from here between these 2 bias and from the bottom from both sides to make this wall to happen. Now, if they don't push it so hard down, this wall doesn't have a separation unless they have a separation all the way up. But they said you have to be nicker inside. When they put the chut, you see, if you see, look at it carefully, you see it goes on back and forth, shows this bottom they are separated. Follow? This is a git and Seor to explain, and resus. Resus, of course, they come also different, a lot of different qualities. And nowadays they come in a regular resus with the regular resus, and nowadays they come deep, not deep fried, it's deep inking, whatever you call. They dip it into the ink and completely black. They don't come. Even you cut it, it's still gonna stay black. This way, there's some shooter hold like that. Some people they don't like it as a new thing. You don't like a new thing, but all the time also remember people was painting in the bottom. Some hold they have to be 2 sides painted. Some people they said even the bottom hold it, but most of the people, there's no most of the people nowadays. They could use it this way or that way. I don't advertise it. I just let them decide what they want. But this way it doesn't get any white. You have to know the shear of this resource is a 10 millimeter. Less than 10 millimeter is possible. Especially the place you make a knot, sometimes you get narrow. You have to be very careful the place that you make a knot. It be not less than a 10 millimeter.
The ink, the bottom ink and top ink are both the same, or?
Yeah. Basically the top and the bottom the same, but what to make him to, since this top part basically is the top of the skin, is the toughest part of the skin. Therefore you keep it for up, and also it's not like a meaty part, it's like a softy part. Gemara said to be the outside to be nicer. What they do basically, if you see sometime some belt or some shoes shiny or some shoes not shiny, because the leather itself is not shiny, they use shellac. If you know what shellac is like a shiny part. They get it from some type of some insects. They could get some shiny part of it, also like a gelatin, and what they call it. Some of the candies they have this shiny part, the same quality. Yeah, something like that. This they put a glaze on top of it. If the glaze goes away, doesn't make the tefillin possible, because it's a glaze. But blackness, if it goes away, is a problem. Some companies, I don't know, they say there was bad companies. There's 2 versions of this rumor. Some people they said really they paste plastic on top of the cloth. This is some version. Some another version is the company defected. It was not good paint. It was coming off. I mean, I don't know. But if something like that happens, easily coming off, if it's a real paint, is a problem. But if it's hard to take it off, it's kosher. But if it comes out like this and coming off that easy, is not good. Okay? If so, as of now, anybody has any question? Otherwise, passing this stuff and take a look at them and see the different batim and how the dakod and gasod works. So you could feel it. And I'll open up the questions.
So the Tefilin markers for the Ritzuos is just regular ink.
No, they are koshering. They're supposed to be koshering. Yeah, everything's supposed to be kosher.
When you put a string in between the four buttons,
Chut.
the hook, so where do you see it coming out?
At the bottom.
If you open up the tefillin, or
Yeah, when you open up tefillin, but some tefillin you could see it outside. Some tefillin you could see it outside. You know, outside is sticking out. The good pairs you could see it outside.
How does it make the shins these days?
Shin, they put it. They first they press it. It comes out and they push it back, and they put it with the hand. That one was good question.
What's the ink made of?
What?
It's a special ink.
What?
The ink that it's used to write its filling.
Yeah, they are to
What
be
is it
made
made of?
of a what you call it, a little bit using honey, a little bit golnut, and there's Arabic something. There's a lot of mixtures to know. Pishtim Mudarim? I could show you. This is Mezuzot with the Shailot.
This is the one that they added the piece.
All of them add the piece, yeah. You see, that piece is add,
I
yeah.
have one that is
Orach, yeah, I have it at home. I mean, by the way, that one, Orach, you're not gonna see anything. Because what happening is they fold it and they paint it. You're not gonna see anything, you know. I had to take the paint off, you could see it.
because the leather starts off mushy and then it gets hard. How do they?
What?
It starts off mushy and then it just gets.
Yeah. Now mushy, but soft. You could work with it. It's not mushy.
Soak it.
Yeah.
These ones are probably I do understand.
What?
These ones are already kind of hard. I can't bend them anymore.
No. This one you can't work with it at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I don't have Peshutim Mehudarim here.
You have the folded up one.
This one?
The unfolded one. Yeah.
This is not Peshutim Mehudarim, but kind of. Yeah, kind of Peshutim Mehudarim.
This is a real one.
Yeah.
One question. This tefillin, the shooting, this one, is an example or is actually like that? Made out of cloth?
But it was real. This one was real.
This.
Yeah.
Do you have a sample of the ones that they typed, the ones that are vanished probably because they printed out and stuff like that for mezuzah or anything like that?
It's not painted, but is a paper.
When you find this on a mezuzah that you were checking with someone, something?
Yeah, it's painted. Probably is painted.
You found this in a, for someone brought it to you to check and you saw
Probably.
they painted this?
Yep.
If there is two happening, just how it comes like this.
You bent باشش کار نداره. If you have if it's bent, it doesn't matter. But it still is a shear. You could flatten the shear. It's still kosher. But if it rubs off, it's get narrow. That's a problem.
Okay, but if it's like
Is a bended is not. Bended is not a problem. You have to flatten it. You have to flatten it, and you see this is a shear.
You have it for free. No what from us.
Good. Any more question? I mean, you didn't ask any question.
This tefillin, if for example, you get hit for like this from the top, one it's done, doesn't destroy?
Yeah, of course that.
Yes, of course.
Which one?
This like.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to make a pair of tefillin?
Well, depend which part you talk about. The riding is 16 hours, but the boxes goes for months because they have to be dried. This one doesn't work like a 1, 2, 3. First of all, they hide the skin, it's salted, and put them in the chemical, press it, get it dry, cut to the side. It's a lot of process, and they don't do it in America. I heard that they start a company in Lake, but I don't believe they're gonna. It's not worth the price of it. They do it in Israel. What?
What do they do? Is it Eretz Yisrael?
They do that in Israel, yeah. Big companies.
What's the difference between like the kinds of the cloth? What makes a good cloth and a bad cloth? Like the writing on the message.
What the good cloth is the part the cloth is smooth.
No, the writing.
The writing is the different handwriting. The people they have artist writing and they have a cheap writing. It could be.
What's the difference? Like how good he writes, like how nice
Yeah.
is the letter?
So this is a nice episode. Something like that. No, we have the box, but.
Yeah. Any more questions?
It's possible.
I think so. Unless they have questions.
All right.
Oh yeah. Thank you for listening. And anybody have any question? You could have my number 443-415-5603, or you could go to the Google Sofer Baltimore, or text me or call me.